Hello and welcome to measure 3 and 4. We're going to do two measures today because the final idea for this 4-measure phrase is measures 3 and 4. So we're going to start with measure 3, and to begin measure 3 we have to add one new note, and that is B4. So before you go on, write a B4. Oh, the jokes are still so bad. Okay, they never get better. So the first two notes, we're going to start with B and then D on our left hand. Go ahead and do that. And as much as possible, try to start each measure of this whole song with left hand pinky. And then the next three notes are not so bad because it's notes we've already had before. We have G, and then the last two notes are exactly the same as in measure 2. We have D and F. And then it does those three again. So let's hear the whole pattern for measure 3. B, D, then the right hand, G, D, F, G, D, F, then again. And then measure 4 is exactly the same as measure 1. So let's just move up a key from B, D to C, E. And then our thumb was already on G in measure 3, so we keep it right there. And then these two fingers are also going to move down one key. So see how both of our pinky and middle fingers expanded from B, D, D, F, and then went in to there. And you know measure 4 because it's the same as measure 1. So besides adding one new note, we don't have any really new ideas here. So your work for this idea is going to be putting 1, 2, 3, and 4 together to make a miniature song. So remember when we took measure 1 and put it after measure 2 so that it sounded like a 3-measure song? Well, now Bach has decided that he's going to take the same idea from measure number 1 and put it right after measure number 3. So it's almost the same thing that we did in our last lesson. See why I do it that way? As these are ideas I'm getting from Bach himself. So let's try measures 1 through 4 as a miniature song. Ready? So let's start nice and slow, and if you want to, you can play with me, or you could stop the video right here and start trying it on your own. But I'm going to give you some ideas for how we can play it, and then we're going to try a few different styles too, so that you can actually make it musical instead of just mathematical. Okay, too much talking, not enough playing. Here we go. 1, 2, measure 1, go. C, E, G, C, E. And I'm doing it very slowly just so we can kind of try to get through it. Then I'll take a little pause between the measures so we can kind of reset our hands. Here's measure 2 for C, D, and then the right hand is on A, D, F. And once your hand is set there, you can do the whole rest of the measure. Now measure 3 is where we move our left hand down to B, D, and then our right thumb moves down one key, but everything else stays put. B, D. And then measure 4 goes right back to like measure 1, where we have C, E, G, and then these fingers move in to C, E. Let's do it again. Measure 1, I'm going to go right into it, because it's just like measure 4. And this time I'm going to play louder. The name of the instrument is the pianoforte. The word piano is the Italian word for quiet or soft. The word forte is the Italian word for strong or loud. We get our word fortress from the word forte, or at least the two ideas are related. Because a fortress is not just like a regular house, it's a strong building. And that's where we can make a loud, strong sound. Here's measure 3 again. And then here's measure 4. And now I'm going to go back down to piano and play quietly. The pianoforte is called this because when it was invented, the predecessor couldn't play loud or soft. It just had one volume level it always had to play at, and that was the harpsichord, because it would pluck the strings. Now I'm going back to measure 1. Keep trying to play along if you can. And now I'm going to swell the measures, so as I go through the measure, I'm going to get louder, and then toward the end, I'm going to get softer again. So that measure 2 will start quietly, and then gradually get stronger and stronger. Just hit it with a lot of force and use that pedal if you're not. And then measure 3, I'm starting quieter. And I think I'm going to keep all of measure 3 nice and quiet. And then measure 4, a little bit louder. Want to, you can try it faster as well. Faster is not very easy at first, but here's an idea. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, I don't usually say this, but these 4 measures would be great to practice something like 20 times in a row. If you think that's crazy, I had a friend whose teacher in college would recommend that she practiced her music 110 times a row. And after that many times, you must surely know the song. So here we are, we're just playing. The point is not to struggle the whole time, but you know, to get kind of good at it. So it feels like it's not so hard. So if this speed feels too fast, then slow it down. It's still a very pretty song at a very slow tempo. Now there are tempo suggestions in a lot of the books that are out there, but there's one very important book that didn't have tempo suggestions, and that was the one written by Bach himself. He did not put tempos, I think, for any of these songs. And I think the reason he did that is because it would be wrong to say it should be played at this speed or that, because truthfully, a good performance is going to vary the tempo a little bit. Like I could choose to go a little faster right now, and then I might slow down. Now that's not a steady tempo at all. Now he could say, go about 60 beats per minute, or about 200 beats per minute. But I think that would be wrong too, because there are slow performances that are beautiful, and very fast performances that are beautiful. It kind of depends on who your audience is when you're playing for them and what kind of effect you're trying to have. That might be good for a wedding or some exciting event. Take it slower like this, especially if we drop it down an octave. I'm going to go down to measure 3. Oops. There we go. And it immediately makes the whole thing a little bit more solemn, and all I'm doing is switching the spot I'm playing at. Oops. And that's kind of a fun variation. And you can do anything you want like that with this song. I encourage you to not just play the notes measure for measure how they're written. Pretty much never do that. Just take the idea that's there and transform it into something different, whether you're just changing where you're playing it, or you're changing how you're playing it, or how fast, or how loud, or soft, or if you're even doing the notes in the same order, or if you're adding some of your own notes. And we'll get into more of that stuff later. But for right now, your job is to practice creating with measures 1 through 4, and that is all we're going to do for today. So give yourself a round of applause and 2 thumbs up. Good job. Enjoy your practice. Play it a bunch of times.